Every Friday from 3:05 to 4 on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM. It's the Friday Sports Scene with Keith and Koivisto. Talking local sports every Friday. Getting you ready for the weekend and what lies ahead. High school sports, UConn, ECSU, and more. The Friday Sports Scene with Keith and Koivisto is brought to you by your local Dunkin' stores. Route 32 South Windham, 1015 Main Street, Willimantic, 1575 West Main Street, and 407 Jackson Street. The Friday Sports Scene. Now, here's Keith C. Rice and Jan Koivisto.
Listen, championships and Coach K got a surprise in basketball circles. Now we've got a new one here at Plainfield. Just talk about the journey that you've had with these girls this year.
Well, so we were 4-16 last year, and coming in, I told them this could happen. We could play at the Sun. Originally, the semifinals were at Plainfield, so all year I was saying road comes through the Plainfield, road comes through Plainfield. And I think the Wheeler win early is when they really started to believe in, because Wheeler had already beat St. Bede's, had already beat Griswold, and they believed, and we danced on the floor.
You know, it's tough to beat a team 3 times, and certainly Griswold threw everything they could at you tonight and really tried to show you guys different looks. It got very emotional. You guys did a great job, though, regaining your composure. Talk a little bit about, getting things settled down.
They feed off me a little bit at times. My AD tells me, hey, relax once in a while. So I do think they feed off that. I do try to rein it in, and some of them have my personality, which isn't always good. But, to me, that it got a little chippy, favors the underdog, so I really did try to rein us in. My girl that got the tee, Nevaeh, is the sweetest girl in the world. She just got caught up in the moment and clapped in somebody's face. It's kind of how the game was. It was an emotional, physical game.
Well, to her credit, the next time she drew a foul, she went right over, told the girl, my bad. I mean, obviously, in the moment, and not indicative of her at all. You guys are kind of a little bit of a different team, small school, a lot of size, a little bit versatile, and Cam Cross is a special player. You've got one championship, but I know you guys are looking now to make a run even more.
Well, so we're in Division 4, and that's a little tough for us. However, we're at home at least twice, and if we could win those 2, I think there's a good chance we'd get a third at home. So nothing will be easy. Every game's a toss-up, but I think we got a chance to do a little damage here and win a few in the States, too.
Absolutely, but no matter what, you are the Division II ECC Girls Champions. We've seen some Plainfield teams come here. You guys got it done. Congratulations, Coach. Great season.
It's been 50 years for the ECC since Kathy Beauchesne was playing. They did win a couple in the QVC, but even that was 95 was the last one. So it's been a while since we've won.
Well, then make it even more special. Go celebrate with your girls on a well-deserved victory.
How about that?
You got me there. You got me. I didn't know that was coming.
You had no idea it was coming, but Coach Koivisto of the Dunkin' Friday Sports Team, Keith and Koivisto and Nick Erlinson. It's amazing you had some time for us. You've been all over the place this week, making the rounds.
Making the media rounds, as are my girls. My girls all gave some great interviews. That was Casey O'Neill.
From Game Day Live.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's great, yep.
He talked to a couple of the girls after. Then we went on the Putnam radio station this week. Yeah, I mean, we're
How's
superstars.
Your week been? It's been great, huh?
It's been a little bit of a whirlwind. And Wyndham knows this well. It is so cool to play on that floor at the Mohegan Sun.
I thought of you Monday afternoon. I wish I unfortunately had to be here at the station, but I couldn't wait to hear the result. And then we got the text. What was going through your mind coaching that game on the sidelines at Mohegan Sun Arena, where the UConn women will be tomorrow? But I mean, that'd be crazy. Huh?
It's pretty crazy. Part of it was I was wondering why we were taking so many deep threes. They have the college NBA WNBA line on the floor, so I think it confused the girls a little bit. But we knocked them down. I think we hit 8 threes. So,
really?
Yeah, we were knocking them down. Yeah. Well, the rims are perfect. The backboard's perfect. Even though it's a backdrop you're not used to, the lighting's perfect. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. The ECC and the CIAC for the state tournament do a great job getting that court, and it's awesome for the kids.
Well, as Casey said, from 4-16 to now 19-4, right? 19-4, heading to your first state tournament game, which will be tomorrow at home. Plainfield and Harding at noon, correct?
That's correct, and we're looking to get 20 and then hopefully beyond that. I told them after the game, I said, enjoy this, but you know what? There's a handful of teams each year that win 20 games. Let's be one of them.
So where's Harding? They're from the New Haven area. Right?
Bridgeport.
Oh, Bridgeport. Okay, so they're coming to your place. You got a little practice tonight. What are you going to tell the girls tonight?
Well, we did the prep for Harding, which is a little tough. Every game is listed now, but you got to kind of watch it, on the computer, and it's not quite as good as being there in person. But we did the prep work yesterday. Today we'll just be shooting. Tomorrow we'll just be shooting. Before the game, and then we'll go over some of our matchups and stuff like that.
This is great. We just started the show a few months ago, and we already got an ECC champ right here.
There you go.
And on to the States tomorrow. So happy for Coach Koivisto. It's the Duncan Friday Sports Team here on 14 WILI, 95.3 FM, and, of course, the WILI Radio YouTube channel. And we got Nick Erlinson here. Nick, how was your week?
Not too bad.
What's new? Anything good? Anything new in your world besides no ECC championships to talk about?
No, I lost.
What's the jersey you got on here? I know for radio people, you have to watch it on YouTube. He comes in with a different kind of jersey or swag each week.
Yeah, I got Paige Beckers today.
He's
in honor of UConn.
UConn women this weekend. He's got the UConn Paige Beckers jersey. We'll get into all that. Speaking of UConn women, our second guest today, the radio voice. You heard him last night doing UConn hockey. You hear more than Wayno sometimes. A little exaggeration. But Bob Joyce will be joining us at 3:35. Talk a little UConn women. They'll be playing Georgetown tomorrow at noon here on WILI in the opening round of the Big East tournament. Let's get right to it. The Duncan Friday Sports Scene Rundown. And then our first guest today will be another Chronicle guy, Johnny Uricchio.
Yeah, you got it.
I had it off the air, and
Yeah.
of course I screwed up the first. Johnny U.
Johnny, there you go.
Johnny U.
The real Johnny U.
Who really is up on his high school stuff. He'll be joining us, talk a little high school tournament hoops. We get ready for all the state tournament games. So he'll be coming up about, a few minutes from now, as soon as I pipe down and get to this rundown. Okay, so we'll start with Wyndham Tech boys. They're at home tonight, taking on Amistad in their first state tournament game. Wyndham Tech girls are at East Granby. E.O. Smith boys hosting Amity at 7 tonight. I was texting with good friend Jeff Belanger. He's got the boys ready for their game tonight. E.O. Smith girls will be at Enfield. That game should be just about over at this point. Coventry girls, 21-2. They got a Division III bye. They won't play till Monday at 6 against the winner of Brookfield and Crosby. Where's Crosby, by the way? Not to put you on the spot.
That may also be out in that New Haven,
Fairfield
Bridgeport
County
area. Yeah, it's
okay.
down there. Yeah.
Coventry boys got a Division V bye. They'll play Tuesday night. Coach Hasty and the boys, they'll play Tuesday night at 6, the winner of Northwestern Regional and Canton. Ram girls and boys, they're in the state tournament. The girls have played Division IV against Griswold tomorrow at 6. Ram boys with 10 wins, they play in the Division III first round against Naugatuck tomorrow at 3. Parish Hill girls, 16-5 record. They got a bye in Division V. They'll play the winner of Hale Ray and Abbott Tech Monday night at 6. ECSU men and women are both done. The men had a heartbreaking loss in the Little East semifinals, 60-59 in overtime to Western Connecticut. They finished at 17-10. The women fell in the first round to Keene State. UConn women, as we just mentioned, still unbeaten. What is it, 47, 48 straight wins?
Unbelievable.
Just a machine. They'll play Georgetown tomorrow at 11:30 here on WILI in the opening round of the Big East tournament down at Mohegan Sun. Georgetown edged Butler earlier today, 62-58. Again, Bob Joyce at 3:35. Break that down a bit. UConn men are on their way to Milwaukee to wrap up the regular season at Marquette. If Seton Hall knocks off St. John's tonight, UConn takes care of business on the road tomorrow. Huskies will lock up the 1 seed next week in New York City. If not, St. John's will be the top seed. NBA, big news in Boston tonight. Cooper Flagg, homecoming. Dallas visits the Celtics, but wait, there's another homecoming. Jason Tatum could be back in the starting lineup. Yes. 15 to 18 minutes possible will be a nice little start for JT, ease him back. Celtics are currently number 2 in the East, who would have thunk. 4.5 behind Detroit, and a game and a half up on the Knicks. NHL, Bruins lose to Nashville 6-3 last night. They'll host Washington tomorrow. And WBC World Baseball Classic, for those who are interested. Team USA has their first game tonight against Brazil. That'll be in Houston starting at 8. Logan Webb gets the ball for the United States. Big thanks to our local Dunkin' stores at 1015 Main Street, Willimantic, 407 Jackson Street, 1575 West Main Street, and Route 32 in South Wyndham. Hello to Jerry, Jay Drizzy, Kaylin, and the crew over there in South Wyndham. They always got the Dunkin', the $5 meal deal. You got to get in on that. Let's see, they got the protein latte with sugar-free vanilla, caramel chocolate protein latte. I had the Dunkin' latte earlier. Nick, what are you drinking?
Some nutty banana thing. I don't
Nutty
know.
Nick?
Yeah, some kind of a Dunkin' ice cold Dunkin' latte
There you go.
thing.
Okay.
I don't know, a mouthful.
And Jan's got his rocking the black.
Normal black, either ice or hot, and I went with the hot today.
All right, the Friday Sports Scene runs on Duncan. Big thanks to intern RJ and J. Matt Rupar behind the glass, behind the board. I can pretend there's glass. There's glass behind Matt, actually. And we're just going to get Johnny U from the Chronicle on in just a sec. Johnny Uricchio. I'm going to call him Johnny U. Wait, Uricchio. There.
Yeah,
Uricchio.
you got it right.
Oh
You got it right.
God,
Although
I'm overthinking
that's
it.
only if I'm telling you right. Maybe he'll have to correct
Well, we'll
both
ask
of
him.
us.
We'll just ask him. You work with him almost every day, too. I would just call him Johnny U, like Johnny Unitas. Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny does know the local sports
He
scene.
does.
I was talking to him a little bit about it Tuesday morning, and he does seem to know everything about what's supposed to happen in this coming tournament. So
Well, I sat next to him at the girls' final last year in Mohegan Sun, and we were talking the whole game, and I felt bad because I didn't want to, interrupt his. We were watching the game, but we were going back and forth and having a great time sitting press row watching. Unfortunately, the Wyndham girls lose to Bacon last year, and it's hard to believe it's March again, just like that, And now we got a sports show here we do every Friday with the Chronicles. Jan Koivisto is an ECC champ with the Plainfield girls. We're very excited about that. And of course, we got Nick Erlinson joining us every week, and we have Johnny on the line. All right, we're going to connect with Johnny U from the Chronicle. Hello, John. Johnny.
What's up, Keith? How are you?
Good. We got Jan here and Nick, and ready to talk some high school hoops. Let's get one thing straight first, because Jan and I've been practicing all day. It's Johnny Uricchio, right?
Yep, you got it right. Yep.
All right, there was a
go.
pause there. I wasn't sure. I was just saying, can I just call you Johnny U?
Yeah, you people call me that.
Oh, good. Well, you've done a phenomenal job, as you've done for the past few years, covering local high school sports, not just basketball, for the Chronicle. And hats off to you for that. We wanted to bring you on. It's a perfect time to bring you on. High school tournament hoops. And we just did a little thing here with Jan. Of course, he's an ECC champ, as you know, with Plainfield. So any thoughts on going into March here with the local team, especially starting with Wyndham Tech tonight, the boys and the girls?
Yeah, Wyndham Tech boys, they had it. I was kind of, I was disappointed. I wasn't surprised they lost. Abbott Tech's a solid team. I was kind of shocked that they lost by double digits. And it's a big game. It's obviously a big game, but this is the last ride for the seniors. Brady Marsh broke the school record for
Colby
boys,
Dunnick,
and Colby Dunnick too got 1,000 points for Whitney Tech. And for me, I watched a little bit of Amistad, just click through their game. They're going to have to stop number 0. And the bottom line, my question for Wyndham Tech is, if they want to go on a deep run, they're going to have to play defense. They don't really have to dig in on defense that much in that conference. They score like 80 points, sometimes 90, and they don't usually have to do that. And they did that versus Cheney Tech on the road in the quarters, which was really impressive. And Luke even mentioned to me that's the best defensive game they played in 3 years. But the competition from the Tech conferences to the just teams and even ECC or any conference is entirely different. But they can absolutely go on a run. And then the other question mark for them on offense is how are teams going to guard them? Because versus Cheney Tech went to a triangle too, and Connor Bushy scored 19 points and led them. And I'm interested to see how I'm going to be at that game tonight. So I'm interested to see how Amistad approach to them guarding those two best players. Are they going to go box and 1, triangle 2, or are they just going to play them straight up?
Yeah, you saw a lot of these teams front and center for the entire season. So do you see this game staying close for the most part, or do you see Tech pulling away, winning by 10 or 15?
Yeah, it's tough because one big thing when I talk to coaches is, I think Jan even mentioned it once, is the bus ride. I think Amistad's got a long bus ride. So I could see Wyndham Tech I think it's important for Wyndham Tech, if they can start out fast, I think they can get by them, but their it's going to come down to their defense. I wouldn't be shocked if Amistad hangs with them. Number 0 is a solid player. I was impressed with his game. He could shoot from 3, he could get to hoop, but the competition and the speed of the game is entirely different. Last year when they faced Career Magnet, Career Magnet just pressured them and they were blitzing the entire game. They had 30 turnovers. So
yeah, they were one and done last year. Tech was one and done last year, yeah.
Right. I do like their bracket, though. I think Luke's going to have them ready to go and prepared, and they're going to be pissed. And I like how they avoided Griswold and Stonington. Stonington and Griswold are really two solid teams for a 9 and 10 seed in Division 4. Those aren't easy teams, and they had a great game in the tournament, and I think Griswold won by 1, hit a game-winning shot with 7 seconds. So I think Tech's got a good chance, and I saw Game Time CT pick them to go to the final, to the semis, to be one of the teams remaining. So hoping they go on a run, but really starts on the defensive end. If you look at the scores of the games, like I mentioned before, their best win of the year was Grasso Tech, and that was a track meet.
Mm-hmm.
Brady had 45 and Colby had 26, and they're not going to be able to do that. Teams are going to, it's going to be in the half court, and all these games matter. The energy and intensity just ramps up by a mile because everyone knows it's win or go home in your last game possibly ever.
So you kind of touched on it with Windham Tech. Is their league unfortunately doesn't totally prepare them for the state tournament, and some of these teams had tougher schedules. So I want to ask you about who I think is the best team in this area, the Coventry girls, bumped all the way up to Class 3. Played, I think, 14 wins against D5 teams. Now, they tried. They went out and they got non-league Woodstock, Rocky Hill, and East Catholic, so they went and got a tough schedule. But are they prepared to make the run that we think they can?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really impressed by how they play. And they made Suffield on Monday. Suffield once ended the season winning 16 in a row. Their last loss was to Coventry in the regular season, and they made Suffield what just looked like a regular team, and they got them out of sorts. Hazel, I think her last name, I don't know how to pronounce it, Kaya, or I don't QUA. She broke. I think she's got over 1,000 points. Might have got 1,400. They were really able to limit her, and they got. You know what they have? They have 4 girls who can score double digits, and they can do it in different ways. Haley Mayo in the post. She had 18 points and 17 rebounds to lead the team to its first championship since 1988. And one player that's really come on, there's 2 emerging stars, but really on Monday was Danielle Wheeler. She scored 27. She can shoot from 3, and she has the ability now to dribble. And I did see them play both Rocky Hill and East Catholic, and they went wire to wire with both teams. Rocky Hill's got those 2 great guards who can shoot, Harding and May, and they just ultimately outlasted them. And Coventry just had a tough time stopping their big, but they belonged on the same floor as them, and that's ultimately why they're the number 9 team in the state. And it wouldn't shock me at all if they go and repeat. But they're going to have everyone's going to give them their best shot now because they're not going to come up on anyone. Everyone knows they're a great team now.
Johnny Uricchio from the Chronicle joining us here on the Duncan Friday Sports Scene on WILI and the WILI YouTube channels. We talk high school tournament, state tournament hoops. A lot of local teams in the thick of it. We're talking about Windham Tech, the Coventry girls, and boy, I tell you, what's in the water at Coventry when it comes to girls basketball and volleyball, and same thing with like Ram and stuff. It's just unbelievable. Well, I want to touch a little on the E.O. Smith boys. Coach Belanger, they're opening up against Amity. What can you expect the E.O. Smith Panthers, Johnny?
Yeah, so this is a team I've been high on since the beginning of the year because I really like their athleticism. With Camden Mazerol, their best player, he can jump out of the gym and shoot from 3 and get it going in the paint. And Christian Gaskins too, he's elite. He's going to be, once that senior class leaves, he's going to be an elite player. I think he's another one who can contest shots at the rim. And what they have for them is they have 4 in their starting lineup. They got 4 guys who can get them 15 or more points on any given night, and they got 2 players off the bench who are really giving them a spark. Is it Hunter Postic? He hit 4 threes off the bench in the first quarter versus Ram at home, and Sam Bolduc's just a great energy spark for them. And I really do think they have a shot to go far because I don't know if you guys know, but Ellington's without Jack Curtis.
Oh.
He's
Wow, so Ellington,
their best player.
Ellington's missing the best player. Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah, and Bridgeport Central, if they win, Bridgeport Central gave them almost beat them last year in the second round, 50-49. They might potentially match up if they take care of business versus Greer Magnet. And EO faces if they face Killingly. I've seen Killingly. Obviously, they play Wyndham, and Killingly can shoot the three well. They don't have the height that EO has, so I'm just excited to what EO can do. Like obviously the key players to watch for EO are Camden Maz, Christian Gaskins, and obviously his son Cameron Belanger, who he can really, if he gets a goal from three, he can
Cam
really
Belanger, watch out.
He can string together 7 rows. One thing with that kid, and I actually appreciate, is he's not afraid to shoot, even if they're not going in. He doesn't lose confidence at all.
Well, EO also, I think this is a little bit opposite of Wyndham Tech, and to a lesser extent the Coventry girls who played a lot of Division 5 teams, is EO plays in the CCC, and that's no joke. So they had a really tough schedule, so they're set. I would say that Killingly-EO matchup would be a really good matchup because Killingly also does play a pretty tough schedule.
That'd be fun.
That would be a fun matchup to see, and I'm a closet Killingly fan.
I know. We know you are.
So that would be a kind of fun one, and that would be one I'd probably try to get to. It'd be a nice local one. It would be at Killingly if they both won.
Oh, right in your backyard.
It'd be a pretty cool game.
Now, did Ellington finally lose? Are they still unbeaten?
Yeah, they did. They lost to Old Line by 1 point.
So that broke that wild streak, right? Didn't they win like 40 in a row?
46. It was a crazy streak.
Wow.
And they're the real deal. They got, I think they had a sophomore that came in the championship game and played well. So they're not going to be, they're still going to be a good team. It's just they're vulnerable now with Jack Curtis, and how they do that, and they'll have home court if EO faces them. But I think that Killingly game for whoever wins that game, which is if it's chalk, that's gonna. I think either team could go in there and win. Killingly is I've seen Killingly multiple times. They're very well coached, and they share the ball well, and they shoot the three well, and they do a lot of things really well. So, but I've been high on EO, and when they play with energy and effort, they're really. They could be a elite team.
Johnny, one more from me, and I don't know if Jan's got one more, but we got to wrap this up, and we're going to have you on again soon because we're just getting started here with the high school state tournament play here on the Duncan Friday sports team. But I think you pretty much might have answered my question already. My final question is, out of this local pack, and we'll keep Jan Koivisto's, the Flying Koivistos, Plainfield girls out of them. They're separate because but we'll talk more about them. But I want to know, who do you think, out of the boys and the girls from these local teams in this area, could go the furthest in your mind, boys or girls? I kind of think you're leaning EO Smith boys, right?
Yeah, I believe EO Smith boys, and then obviously it wouldn't shock me if Wyndham Tech goes far, but it also wouldn't shock me if they lost tonight because, like I mentioned before, it was very glaring when they faced Career Magnet and the speed of the game and how the players are overwhelmed. So on the girls' side, I can obviously Coventry is, I think, could go all the way.
What about Parashell?
I do.
No?
Yeah, but so their schedule, a big thing with these teams, and I look at, is the schedule they play. And Parashell, they lost in the quarters, and I don't know if I could go through their schedule real quick.
Well, I can give you a Parashell tidbit. They get a bye, which I think does not help teams in the state tournament, and then they would play probably Hale Ray. They have one common opponent with Hale Ray, Westbrook. Hale Ray beat Westbrook by 20. Parashell lost to Westbrook by 28. So unfortunately, I think if they play Hale Ray, they're up against.
Yeah, you're right. That bye could be. It's not really. Doesn't really work in your favor.
You get to the Sweet 16, but you're playing a team that already won a game and is a pretty good team.
And Johnny, one last thing. Who do you like in that Plainfield Harding girls game tomorrow?
No, I'm not saying this but I actually think Plainfield. I was impressed with. I was watching that game, and I was impressed with Cameron Cross, the junior, because I've been covering, and the team in general. covered multiple games at Mohegan Sun with Wyndham girls. Been fortunate, and you can't shoot, and they haven't been able to shoot the three well at all. And that's what they did well there. And those two games will go a long way for state tournament being battle tested, because down 7 at Wheeler and not at Wheeler but at Fitch versus Wheeler, that's big momentum for state tournament, because it's going to be up and down, and usually it's easy. But I thought she can carry the team. I mean, she scored 15 points in the first half. She's confident she can get to the hoop, she could shoot it, and you got other girls who could help. So I think they got a good draw. I don't know enough about Oxford, but I've seen Bolton.
Hofstra, wait a minute, Harding.
No, Oxford.
Oh, Oxford. He's talking about Hofstra.
Johnny's on the second round. Johnny's analyzed the whole bracket.
Oh, look at you.
It would be Oxford or Bolton in the second round.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So,
just saying a draw.
What's the line on the game tomorrow? Plainfield Harding.
I can't say that, but again, I did say the bus trip, and it's a 2-hour bus trip for them.
Right.
If we play our A game, we win. And I've said that before, and I believe that for this game.
Johnny, thank you so much. We're gonna have you on again soon, okay?
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I appreciate it.
You got it. I'll send you the link as soon as it's uploaded. Johnny Uricchio from the Chronicle. Thanks, buddy.
Awesome,
All
Johnny.
right, thank you. Have a great. Yeah, thank you.
Great job. Johnny Uricchio for the Chronicle does an exceptional job covering high school sports, not just basketball.
He knows everything. He's talking about matchups of teams they're playing that are an hour away or 2 hours away, and he knows what they bring.
That's somebody who just loves what they do.
Yeah.
So great job, Johnny. We're going to take a little break. It's the Duncan Friday Sports Scene. Keith and Koivisto and Nick Erlinson. And we'll be back with Bob Joyce on the other side. Talk a little UConn women. Speaking of games at Mohegan Sun, here on WILI. Back on the Duncan Friday Sports Scene on 14 WILI, 95.3 FM, and of course the WILI YouTube channel, where you could search on YouTube by just punching in WILI Radio. We got the coach back here. Of course, Coach Koivisto, ECC champ. We're talking a little about his first round state tournament playoff game, which is tomorrow at noon in Plainfield against Harding. Nick Erlinson with us as well. Here's a quick question. I know we're going to get to Bob Joyce, talk a little UConn women in a second here. When it comes to teams like Harding, where do you? Well, there's probably tape you guys all share as coaches, right?
Well, actually, I think it really started during COVID, but there's a website, NFHS, and it puts up pretty much every high school game. Some teams during the state tournament kind of take them down, but you can find them on the road. You can go to the other team, and if they were on the road, you can find it. So you can watch any team play, and you can watch it multiple times. I don't think it's the same as being there in person. I'm still a little old school. But for the States, that's really all you can do. If we're fortunate enough to win a couple, then I'll probably try to send somebody to some of the games so somebody can see them in person. But for the first couple rounds, we'll just watch tape. Although Bolton knows us a little bit, and we know them just because we're pretty close, and I'm good friends with Dom Lombardo, who's the Bolton coach, if we face them in the second round. So there won't be many surprises in that game, I don't think.
So back to the Griswold game for a second the other day. Things got a little chippy there, as we heard you talking with Casey.
They did. I'm kind of on the fence with it in a couple of ways. And one, because I'm of my age, we did stuff all the time. We talked all the time on the court, so it was not that big of a deal. But you see it less, and people are a little more sensitive about it. So, yeah, there was a little talking. We were hitting a three, and we were doing the old 3 fingers in the air thing.
They're doing that?
Yeah, a lot of clapping. But geez, it's an exciting game. Just, have fun and play, and just try not to do too much of the taunting stuff, which went both ways.
Now, again, you said this to Casey. Are they? Is that something Coach Koivisto would do back in his days?
Well, exactly. That's kind of what I was saying.
Were you a taunting?
Nah, I would talk to everybody. I would talk to everybody. I didn't care. They'd talk to me. I'd talk to them.
Now, jumping back to the state tournament for a second, as we get ready to connect with Bob Joyce. When it gets to the Final Four. I'm sorry if you already said this. Where would those? Is there a Final Four site, or you just keep going to the higher seed?
I believe the Final Four is still at the higher seed.
Oh, is it really?
Site.
They don't have like a.
But I know through 8 it is for sure.
Now for the final, they must have it
at
another venue. Is
the
it the Sun? It's the Sun.
Yep.
Man, if you guys knock out,
that'd be crazy, right?
Oh my God. How about that?
That would be crazy, but let's one game at a time.
Exactly. You can't get ahead of yourself. Now, have the Plainfield girls ever won a state title? A state title?
So Plainfield's kind of in a unique situation because they've had a lot of good teams, but they haven't won a team title in like in the 50s, I think football did. It's been a long, long time. There's been semi-runs. Girls soccer recently had a couple final runs but lost. So for a team sport, it's been a long, long time.
All right, well, come on, let's get to it.
There you go.
It's great to have you back here. Coach Koivisto getting ready for his first round playoff game, state tournament game against Harding tomorrow. Duncan Friday Sports Scene on WILI. It's great to have him back in here. Talk a little UConn women's hoops as we get ready for Big East tournament action, which has already started in Mohegan Sun. Thanks for a few minutes, Bob, Joyce. We know you're busy. You did UConn hockey last night, and if you couldn't make it today, I was going to give Deb a text, but it's great to have you back on here and talk a little UConn hoops. How are you, Bob?
I'm good. Heck, you could have reeled in Debbie from work. She's like 3 blocks from
I know. She's right across the street. So I thought of that, too. I'm texting Bob, like, geez, I gotta, and I will have Deb on at some point in March, because I know Deb pretty well, too. And you do such a great job, but we know how busy both of you are. So are you at the Sun right now watching some of this Big East tournament action?
No, I'm at the flagship office doing game prep and administrative work.
Gotcha. The men are on their way to Milwaukee. You're getting ready for that. It's a great time of year. We know that on the women's side, Georgetown has already beaten Butler, so UConn has an opponent. 11:30 tomorrow on WILI, UConn and Georgetown. What do you think about? Let's first of all, we'll get the Chronicles. Jan Koivisto here. We got Nick Erlinson ready to talk UConn hoops with you. Well, UConn is it's really, they shouldn't break a sweat in this Big East tournament. Let's be honest, right, Bob?
Well, I mean, look, you never know until you play an opponent. I mean, look, if they play Marquette in the semis, I think Marquette will play really hard. The question is, can they score enough points? And let's not count out Villanova. I mean, Villanova played them really well the last time out in PA. They actually led by 3 at halftime, but the Huskies have had a habit of putting teams away in the third quarter. So they should take care of business, but that's why you play the games. And if you don't play well and you don't shoot well, you give the opponent a chance. So we'll see how it plays out.
If there's anything been hurting UConn lately, well, what's some of their things they've been struggling with? And it's really, it's probably not too many things, but hey, anything can happen in March. And what's something that's been, I don't know, that UConn's been struggling with that you've seen being front and center at every game?
Well, I'm talking with Gino, too. He's always concerned with the half-court offense, if he's getting enough movement, ball movement from his players, because there are times when the ball goes into the post, it gets stuck, whether it be the high post or the low post. So that's concern number one. Where are they going to get from production from the bigs? And I'm not including Sarah Strong there. I'm talking Sarah Williams and Jenna Olalfi, what they're going to get as far as production goes. He said Sunday after the win against St. John's, that's the first time that Sarah Williams actually played a UConn type of game. And it's a big adjustment for her. I mean, she came from a place that, didn't have a winning record. They relied on her a lot. She played in the post a lot with her back to the basket. And you don't play with your back to the basket all the time when you play at UConn. And probably rebounding in his mind is an issue. They're going to face a Georgetown team that really gets after it on the offensive glass tomorrow. They had 18 offensive rebounds today, and their comeback win against Butler today. So, there's always something to work on, Keith. And it's not just for this Big East tournament. It's for, say, Sweet 16 on. Because, at that point, they're going to play really good teams. And, it's been a while since we've seen UConn against a really good team.
Yeah. So that was going to be my question. I don't want to skip ahead of the Big East tournament, but I do think it's a foregone conclusion. I know you don't want to totally say that. But when they get to the big dance, I don't know, the Southeast Conference has 6 teams in the top 20. The Big Ten has 7. Is that going to be the thing they got to worry about? Is the battle-tested teams they're going to face?
Well, there were teams. They played in the same league last year, and they seemed to do all right against the big kids or the Power 4 conference teams last year in the NCAA tournament. So I would say yes and no. Look, a lot of teams haven't played UConn yet, so and vice versa. Who adapts to who best and what they do? Look, UConn's not going to force 25 turnovers a game once they get to the Sweet 16 on. That's just not going to happen. So UConn's got to figure some things out. They've been good defensively all year. You know, they have broken the school record single season for steals in a season. In fact, they're going to smash it if they get far in the NCAA tournament. I mean, they've already broken it in the regular season. So there are some things that they do really, really well. And look, they've played some good competition early in the season. I mean, that Louisville win, the Michigan win, even Ohio State to some extent, those are looking pretty good now, given what those three teams have done in the regular season. Notre Dame, you know, they're probably better than they were when we played them in January. But there are some teams that we have played that have certainly gotten better as the season's gone on. But my biggest fear, at least, maybe to the Elite Eight, would be LSU if they get stuck in our bracket. But outside of that, I think with, you know, the crew that they have, the roster that they have, they are capable of certainly getting to the Final Four, if not playing for or winning a national championship. They have as good a chance as anybody. But the one thing they don't have this year that they had last year was Paige Beckers. You know, no matter how good AZ Fudd and Sarah Strong have been, Paige Beckers took games over pre-Final Four when they needed her to. Obviously, that didn't have to be the case in the Final Four because AZ and Sarah Strong played out of their minds in the Final Four. But I'd just be intrigued to see, when you get into a close situation, who takes control, who has the ball in her hands, and who can make the plays on both ends of the floor in big situations. Those are the big question marks.
That voice you hear is a voice you hear pretty frequently here on WILI during UConn women's basketball.
Way too much.
UConn hockey. Yeah, we need to weed out Wayno a little bit too much and get more. Actually, I was saying at the top of the show, you know, Bob pretty much rivals Wayno. You're Bob Joyce and a lot of Bob and a lot of Wayno, but that's why we're your Eastern Connecticut station for UConn sports. And we got Huskies in Georgetown at 11:30 tomorrow on WILI. This is the Duncan Friday Sports Scene. Bob Joyce, voice of the UConn women and UConn hockey, with us here as we get ready for the Huskies and the Hoyas tomorrow. How's the team health-wise, Bob, at this point? Anyone banged up?
Outside of the normal bumps and bruises, no. Everybody seems to be okay that can play. So, yeah, I think they're in pretty good shape. The rotation's good. I mean, they're going to go 8-9 for a rotation. Let's see how deep they go once they get deeper into the postseason. But I would say they have a good core of 8. And everybody seems to be in good shape. Blanca might be the only question mark because if something happens to her shoulder again, they could lose her for a significant amount of time. But outside of that, they're in pretty good shape.
Now, out of all of the undefeated UConn women's teams that we've had, where do you rank this squad?
I can't answer that yet because they haven't won outside of winning the regular season Big East crown. They haven't won anything yet. They haven't gotten to a Final Four and they haven't won a national championship.
More depth, though.
Obviously, I can't answer that yet, but it's kind of hard to compare because the game is so different now with the portal. I mean, the portal's killed the Big East.
Absolutely,
it really has. Outside of UConn, it has hurt the Big East. Now, some teams have had some success in the portal, but most of them haven't. I mean, Villanova a little bit is probably the best I can say. Seton Hall is beat up something fierce. I mean, they'd had a pretty good success rate in the portal, but, I mean, half their roster's banged up and lost for the season. I think Tony Bozzella lost his point guard just before we played them the second time in late January. And then, well, let's see, Adam Giardino did a game on Peacock with them, and Tony mentioned that the backup point guard and then another guard both lost for the season, one with an Achilles tear and one with a broken hand, basically cost them the season. So I'm not really sure what we'll get out of them. But the Big East has really taken a hit in the portal. Now, UConn's had success too, but it's just so hard to gauge right now until we see them later in the tournament to really get a good gauge. But look, a lot of people think they're better than last year. I'm still trying to figure that out because Paige Beckers isn't on the roster, but they're certainly deeper. That you can say. Kaylee Heckel and Blanca Quinones have been fabulous off the bench. Allie Zabel has really improved greatly for those three off the bench. Ashlyn Shade starting to become more consistent offensively lately, and they're going to need that in the tournament. So, it's still not a complete thing to tell you just how good this team is yet.
How about this, Bob? Is this the best defensive UConn team you've seen?
Wow.
Come on, Bob. Come on.
No, because again, some of the talent in the Big East isn't as good as what we've seen in the past. I mean, when I think defense, I'm thinking the teams like, say, 2014 and 15 when they had Dolson, Stewart, and Kia Stokes swatting shots left and right away, and they were good defensively back then. I mean, they're good defensively, don't get me wrong, but, the 01-02 team was really good defensively. Renee's team was really good in 08-09 with Maya and Tina and Renee out front stealing the basketball and Kalani Green, too. So, yeah, I mean, they're good defensively, but I don't know if they're the best ever. That's hard to say.
Yeah, well, we're not there yet, you're right. But if they go undefeated with the depth they have in this team that other teams haven't had, and as well as the advancement in the women's game, like, it's not easy in the tournament. And I think, not to say it was easy in some of those past years, but the level that other teams are at is very high, too. So
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can set the bar really high, and teams are catching up to UConn, which is great for the game. It's supposed to be hard to win back-to-back. We haven't had one in a decade, and that's great for the game. Can they repeat here? Sure they can, but they could also lose in the Elite Eight or the Final Four. There are like maybe 8 teams that can contend for a national championship right now, and UConn's one of them. And as Gino says, just give them a chance every year, and they put themselves in position no matter how healthy or how hurt they've been. What was it, 17 of the last 18? They've been to the Final Four. That's a pretty good run.
That's a good run.
A few more minutes here with Bob Joyce. He's busy getting ready to head down to Mohegan Sun tomorrow for UConn Georgetown. Again, 11:30 airtime on WILI. It's the Duncan Friday Sports Scene. Got to ask this, Bob, before we wrap things up. Did you catch a little of Unrivaled? I only ask you this because my cousin, who produced the whole thing for the past few months, has been all over me. Got to watch it. I tuned in here and there. What were your thoughts if you did watch any of it? I know you're busy, so I don't know. Did you watch any of it?
Didn't watch a lick of it.
Wow. Okay.
outside of highlights on Twitter, on social media, didn't watch 1 minute of it. No, just not my thing.
Yeah.
But good for some of the alums. I mean, Paige had a good year in Unrivaled. Obviously, Stewie did. But the one thing I will tell you this: Paige has certainly been in the weight room. She's got guns now. She's strong. She's tough, and I think it's going to do her good. Not only for Unrivaled, if they have a WNBA season, but she's going to be playing on the Olympic team, I think, next time around, next cycle in Los Angeles. What role she has on that team, I don't know. But if I'm USA Basketball, I'm taking her and Caitlin Clark in a heartbeat and putting them on my roster.
Yeah. Do you think WNBA, unlike Major League Baseball, I don't think they'll be playing baseball next year, but that's just my opinion at this point. Do you think WNBA is heading down that same road?
Yeah, it's very dangerous. I got some friends that work over in Bristol that are basically on top of this whole thing. It doesn't look great right now. And when the commissioner's fighting with Nafisa Collier and saying things, it's a while back since the commission and Fee went back and forth. But are the players a little greedy with this? Possibly. I mean, part of it's because of the TV contract. They want more of the pie, and I get that, and they should. But you've got to be able to draw on a consistent basis. The league's got to market better, although they do get some decent crowds in some places, but it's just hard. And the players want to play. That's the one thing I can tell you. They definitely want to play.
Of course.
Now the question is, does the league want them to play and give them a fair enough deal where basically, or is it saying the league saying, accept our terms or we're not playing? And we'll see how that plays out.
I know you can't totally do this yet because we don't have the brackets, but if you had to give me a Final Four and just pretend they could all make it, what would your Final Four be?
Book your tickets to Phoenix, Bob. Book your tickets. I know you don't want to hear that, but come on.
Well, I would think the Huskies are good enough to get to the Final Four. UCLA's certainly good enough, and so South Carolina. Question is, who's your fourth? Is it going to be Texas? Is it going to be Shea Ralph's Commodores? Is it going to be another Big Ten team? I Great question. Who's that Big 12? Boy, the Big 12 tournament's a mess. And quite frankly, the ACC's a mess. Duke had a great year, lost their regular season finale to have their ACC win streak come to an end. It's a crapshoot for that fourth one, but if I had to, I'd say Texas. I would think we might have the same Final Four as last season. We'll find out in about 3 weeks, right?
We will. And Bob, thanks so much. We know you're very busy. We got Deb right across the street, so we will call on her next for a little UConn women as we get into the thick of things. Thank you so much, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Yes, Mr. Keith. Mr. Keith, Steve, have a great weekend.
All right. Now, you're not Robert W. Joyce, but you'll always be Robert W. to me. So.
I know you will. It's Robert S. officially.
Wayne always reminds me, too. All right. Thanks, Bob.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right, radio voice of UConn women. That's a long time. We used to work together at TIC. I used to call him Robert W. Joyce. He goes, that's not my middle initial.
I feel like you have names for everybody.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I just come up with, Coach K. I know.
Johnny U.
I heard Johnny U. And I heard Casey call you Coach K. Well, I'm sure other people have called you too. So.
Yeah, I rolled if you watch that tape, though, I rolled my eyes a little bit when he said it.
Were you thinking of me or other people?
Yeah, I did. I'm like, here we go again.
Oh, geez. That's, you gotta be on cloud nine. So we're going to be thinking of you tomorrow, definitely. But thanks to Bob Joyce, radio voice of the UConn women and UConn hockey here on WILI. Yeah, it's a true story. After I texted Bob to confirm today, I'm thinking, Jesus, I got Deb right across the street. And I've known Bob for a while, but, we got to call on Deb. We'll get a little perspective from her.
We should get her on. I met with her 2-3 weeks ago for some work stuff, some Wyndham Rec stuff.
She's fantastic.
And we ended up getting sidetracked and talking a lot of hoops. So,
she's been on with Wayno a bunch of times.
Yeah,
and
crazy knowledge.
Got to get her on Hometown Threads, too. But anheanyway.
And she was quite the player at one point.
Oh, yeah. She played before all the nationals. She was right before Lobo.
Right before
Lobo. And I heard Wayne say it the other day. I'm drawing a blank now. She wore number 5 before Paige Becker.
She looks like she still could play a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure she can still knock down a 3 or 2 here and there. So, we'll have to get Deb on. All right, we got a few more minutes left here, the Duncan Friday Sports Scene on WILI. Let's see. We got the World Baseball Classic tonight. I don't think there's really anything to talk about there. We're all excited that, for baseball, if you guys are baseball fans, right?
It's my number one sport.
It's great to hear Red Sox spring training on the radio, but all I kept thinking, I don't mean to jump the gun, is in the back of my mind, as we're just talking about with Bob, is a work stoppage looming. And I don't want to think about that. I want to enjoy 26, but it's just sad when you got to see these kind of things happen.
It is sad, and obviously baseball players, baseball isn't what it used to be, so maybe they're overplaying their hand a little bit if they go on strike. Just like, the WNBA plays. I'm a huge fan of women's hoop, obviously.
You follow a lot of WNBA?
No, WNBA some, but the college game, the high school game, obviously. But it feels like they might be overplaying their hand a little bit because he kind of hit on it that you gotta draw consistently, and they don't always do that.
And I meant to bring this up with Bob. I don't know if you'd have too much to say about it. AZ Fudd signed on with the Jordan brand today, so
did she?
No surprise. She's all over. She was right there watching Paige the other night in Brooklyn. I think that's where I saw her in Brooklyn, all dressed up and stuff, watching Paige, and she's gonna have a fantastic career. Hopefully, she'll get to play next year if there is a season.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was actually looking at the WNBA draft today because Olivia Miles plays at TCU. She used to be at Notre Dame, and my daughter had played against her, and she's projected to be a top 3 pick with Fudd and I think the Spanish player Awa Pham. I don't even know if you know that name. She's 19, I think. And she's supposed to revolutionize the game, 6'4", and can do a lot of things.
Yeah, women's basketball is definitely that'll be sad if the WNBA has to.
It would be
hit the pause button.
It would because the advancements there.
Yeah.
Caitlin will be back. Paige came in. I mean, it's ready to explode, I think, if they can figure it out.
And we're getting ready to wrap things up. One last thing. Jason Tatum back tonight for the Celtics. Should be. They're saying he's questionable, but he's going to play. And he'll be in the starting lineup. Cooper Flagg back in New England. So anything to say on that?
No. I just hope they don't rush Tatum too much. Just take it easy on him. They don't need him in there anyway.
Exactly. They don't fit. And I was saying all year, real quick, I know we got to wrap this up, that the Celtics were going to be just fine. Brown had to turn it on, and he did. He's, I think him and Cade Cunningham are 1 and 2 MVP there.
Yeah.
But ease Tatum back, as Nick just said. I'd say 15 to 18 minutes tonight, and it should be fun. Best of luck to you tomorrow, Coach.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Tomorrow at noon in Plainfield. I can't wait. Make sure you text us right away. Is there a way we could watch it, by the way?
It would be you got to have a subscription
to the Game Day Live. Is it on
no,
there?
the NFHS.
Oh, okay.
NFHS.
All right,
You have to have a
NFHS. So go
subscription,
subscribe, watch it there. I'll try and do that.
Or go. It's Plainfield. It's right on Route 6.
Or go in Plainfield. Go, yeah, definitely. All right, for Coach Koivisto, Nick Erlinson, intern RJ, J. Matt Rupar. Thanks to our guests, Johnny Uricchio for the Chronicle and Bob Joyce. That'll do it for the Duncan Friday Sports Scene on 14 WILI Willimantic and 95.3 FM.